Hey beautiful faces! Today's video is going to be me comparing my past experiences in the US to what I'm used to in Denmark. Bear in mind that these are just my observations and my experiences, so if you don't agree with me, then jolly good. What I say is not law. I feel like I need to say something really nice before I piss everyone and their mother off. Fuck that, let's start. Your water is yellow. I almost thought that someone had forgotten to flush all out when I arrived at the first hotel in Florida. You know, when you flush and then the toilet kind of gets lazy and only flushes half of the pee out. That's how it looks like. I don't remember that from my California trip back in 2012, so I don't know if it's the same everywhere in the US, but it is in Florida. Also, I was actually told I could drink the water, but it will taste like chlorine. Chlorine. Oh gee, can't wait to get me a glass of that. I do remember that being the case too in California. This makes me think about, does our water taste odd to you? Or do you just go like, oh my god, their tap water tastes like bottled water? Your cars are huge. Not just the trucks, no, all of your cars are in general huge. The car we rented was huge too. It was just like sitting in a living room chair. It was so comfortable. Also, gas in the US, it's fucking cheap. I approve. I've never thought about it before, but you have power cords hanging from everywhere. Also in the cities, right above your heads. Many of them are hanging really low. I don't dare say everywhere, but in most places in Denmark, our power cords are underground in the cities and other inhabited places. They're only really seen above ground on fields and places like that, so to me, it's kind of scary to look at right above my head. It just didn't seem very safe. I noticed that everywhere you go in public places, staff will ask you, how are you? And I was told just to answer, fine, thank you. And then I shouldn't say it back. I am weird if I say it back. To a Dane, how are you is a very personal question, and it's not normally asked by people who don't know you. So I thought it to be really strange, and it took me off guard every time. Hello, how are you? Well, what? Fine. Thank you. Since both vacations I've held in the US were road trips, we of course ate a lot of fast food. Damn, your fast food is not fast at all. At a Danish McDonald's, it's almost a crime to wait 5 minutes for your food. So waiting 10 to 15 minutes on our food every time was not something any of us were used to. Oh my god, we were at this one McDonald's and we were served by this lady, and she was like the slowest person I've ever met in the whole wide universe. Moving like... We waited 15 minutes for her to make 3 McFlurries with M&Ms. I've never seen anybody move so slow before. And she was my age, so it's not like she was old. We didn't get mad, we didn't tell her, because it was so slow that it was almost hilarious. That's not a penis, that's a McFlurry. To you, it's considered very rude not to tip. To us, it's considered very rude to expect a tip. We don't really do that in Denmark. Many places we're not even allowed accepting tips. And if we are, it's not going down our own pockets. I get that in the US it's a part of your salary, but there were this one time where we decided to tip less because we didn't feel like the waitress did a very good job. The service just wasn't very good. We did a lot of waiting, both for the food and for when we had to get in contact with her. We didn't feel welcome in her company. She ran after my dad when we were leaving, just to bitch about her tip. My dad, being the good guy, gave her a little more, but I would have been so furious if it was me. I also think it's very rude to include the tip in the check so the customer has no option but to pay it. Let the hate begin. Why is the tax excluded from the prices? Why not just include them in the price like everywhere else? As a customer, it's always a downer to look at the price tag and know that it's gonna be more expensive than that. I know it's not the final price, and that makes me not want to buy it anyway. Is there an actual purpose to this, or is it just how things are? Does anyone know? It was insane. Every time any of us mentioned that we were from Denmark or Scandinavia or that we were Danish, people started talking about the Netherlands and said things like, "Oh, you speak Dutch then?" No. I'm sorry to break it to you, but Denmark is not the Netherlands. It's a country. And in Denmark we speak Danish, not Dutch. I don't expect anyone to know every country in the whole world. Denmark is a small country, but when I say I'm from Denmark, I don't mean the Netherlands. I can't even count how many times Americans have said something like this to me. So can you tell me why so many Americans tend to believe this? It's so weird, really. You people are very curious, like in the word's original meaning. You just go up to people you don't know and randomly ask stuff totally out of context if you want to know something. I love that, but I'm not used to it at all. Many Americans came up to us asking where we were from and if it's exciting there and stuff like that. But this one lady completely took me off guard. We were standing in line in Epcot. She just came up behind me and asked, "Are you a wolf?" I had no idea what she was talking about, so I just went, "No. Are you?" Then I realized I have a wolf tattoo on the back of my arm, and then I thought that was it. So I started talking about how I much rather wanted to become a unicorn while pointing at my unicorn tattoo. She just looked at me like I was the most stupid person in the whole wide world and said, no dear, your shirt." Then I realized I was wearing the brand new t-shirt Frederick got me. It says, "Wolves don't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep." And then I felt stupid. I think she had a feeling that I thought the whole situation was very odd, and I think she was a bit offended by that. Anyway, I just apologized for looking so surprised and explained to her that I was a little tired, so she took me off guard. I was tired, but that was not the reason she caught me off guard. I'm Danish. You guys have absolutely ridiculous warning signs for everything. Oh, I need to come up with some examples I remember. You have wet floor signs everywhere, even though the floor is completely dry and has been all day. The wet floor signs are just a part of the interior design. The warning signs for the different rides in theme parks basically explains they can kill you. The ride can kill you. Don't read them because they will scare you half to death over nothing. The warning signs should have warning signs. Basically, reading the warning signs are scarier than the rides themselves. These were just some things I noticed as a Dane visiting the US. Feel free to leave some comments lecturing me, or just to share your own strange experiences when traveling. And don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe to me if you want more, because I really hope to see your beautiful face in my next video. Bye!